Good morning. My name is Jim Creamer, and you're listening to Mortgage Savvy Radio, the show that keeps you informed and helps you make better decisions when it comes to purchasing or financing your home. Thanks for listening today. We have a great show this week. Our special guest is Rischi Paul Sharma. He's the CEO of Assembly Point Financial and recipient of the Word & Brown 2012 Top 10 Health Agency Award. Also the Orange Coast Magazine's 2012 5-Star Wealth Management Award. His company specializes in creating structured benefits for corporate clients. And I'm actually looking forward to listening to what he has to talk about today. It should be very interesting. We look forward to speaking with him later on in the program. We also have something special in terms of the featured property today because we actually have two featured properties with open houses from 1 to 5 p.m. Now, these two homes are in the same neighborhood, and they are literally the lowest priced single-family residences in Newport Beach. We'll tell you about them later on in the show. But if you want to check them out now, you can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/SwiftLoans, where you'll find pictures, website links, and contact information. Remember, we love listener questions to answer here on the show each week. You can post your listener questions on our Facebook page, again at facebook.com/SwiftLoans, or send an email to radio@jimcreamer.com. I'll answer every question, and if I use your question on the air next week, I'll send you something nice from one of our local businesses here in the Newport Mesa area. Each week we talk about the Freddie Mac rate survey of lenders that they conduct and publish every Thursday, and we use this as a comparative analysis or comparative basis when we speak about the Swift Loan funding rates here later on in this segment. Now this week, Freddie Mac survey says the average 30-year fixed rate was down to 3.4% from 3.55% last week. Now, that's a significant drop over the previous weeks because every week we talk about this here on the show. And it's pretty much only come down just a little bit or stayed relatively flat over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Now, the average 15-year fixed rate, that came down also to 2.73% from 2.85% last week. Now, Freddie Mac prices these loans with just over a half a point in lender loan origination fees. Remember, that doesn't include the title, the escrow, the recording, the appraisal, etc. That's just loan origination fees. So we're going to compare that to the Swift Loan funding rates here in a bit. Now, rates only got better this week, hitting all-time lows. It was a lot of fun to watch the interest rates this week. Every single day, the rates got better. There was no trading range. Now, I talk about trading range every week because rates are up and down, and I'm looking for some stability in order to lock rates and not chase rates for customers, for example. This week wasn't like that. Rates just got better, and the only news that hit us was at the end of the week when Spain apparently didn't need as much bailout money as was previously allocated to them. So as a result, on Friday, rates backed off a little from their all-time lows, but they really didn't back off very much, and they stayed within a stable trading range, which is good news because going into next week, that means that rates are going to be good still, and that is, again, very exciting news. Now, also, this week, Swift Loan Funding is at the top of our rate rankings again with our 30-year fixed rate at 3.125%. That's APR. That's with no closing costs. That means that every possible fee is included in that no closing cost loan, no surprises. Our 15-year fixed rate is 2.75%. That's also APR and no closing costs. That actually hasn't changed much over the last few weeks. However, lenders are finally just starting to price loans below that at 2.625% on the 15-year, but you're going to pay about $1,000 in closing costs to get that closed. What's going to happen over the next couple weeks, I hope and I'm predicting, is that lenders are going to start becoming more generous with those lower interest rates, and we may even see 2.6% on the 15-year no closing costs, 3% on the 30-year no closing costs. Cross your fingers. Now, you can actually go ahead and check out these rates for yourself on our company website at swiftloanfunding.com and use our live rate engine. We call it the Fast Quote. It ties directly to our wholesale lender rate sheets. You can go and use the Fast Quote tab at our swiftloanfunding.com website, enter in your qualifications, and the resulting rates are the latest live lender rates with all possible closing costs already factored in. So let's talk a little bit about borrower credit. Credit does have an impact on your rate because it affects the risk of the loan. However, the more equity you have in your property, the less of an impact credit will have on you. I think the lowest credit score that Fannie Mae will go to is probably around a 620 FICO score. The average is probably 660. We see at Swift Loan Funding people with credit that's over 740, and this happens a lot with us. But every once in a while, we'll get people that have credit scores that are less than 740. It's the higher scores that get you the better rate. It's loan to values under 60%, and a loan to value means how much is your loan in comparison to how much is your value as a percentage. So if your value is $100,000, for example, and you owe $50,000, it means that's your loan is at 50% loan to value. Under 60% loan to value and you have a good credit score, it means you're actually going to get the best interest rates that are available. However, if you have a lot of equity under that 60% and your credit score is down to like 680, that's still okay. You're not going to have a significant impact on the rate. You're still going to be able to get those good rates. But I will tell you that little tiny things have a big impact on your credit report. If you're in a dispute on any one of your trade lines, for example, Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, they won't even look at your loan until that dispute is removed off of your credit report. Also, we had a customer this week whose high score on the credit report was 799, but they just recently had a tiny little collection account put on their credit in August, and it dropped their score down to 684. Now, had they not had the equity that they have, that would have had a significant impact on their interest rate. But they had good equity, so it really didn't impact the rate. My point is, credit is very important when it comes to the risk and pricing of interest rates. If you'd like more information, contact me. We can run your credit report for you. We can see what you qualify for. And if there are dings on the credit report, we can talk about things that you can do to improve your score and get those better interest rates. Our guest today is Rischi Sharma. He is a financial planner with Assembly Point Financial. They're based out of San Juan Capistrano. Tell us a little bit about Assembly Point Financial. What is it that you do over there?
We actually have a specialty practice in corporate benefits. We are certified financial planner staffed office, and we've been in the practice now for about 15 years.
Are you a principal?
I am principal of the firm, yeah.
You are. Mm-hmm. And what is the focus of the company?
Our focus is to help businesses locally within the state of California with their corporate benefits packages, everything from group health insurance, supplemental benefits, to the qualified plans, helping their employees with retirement planning as well.
So let's say I want to provide corporate benefits to my employees here at Swift Loan Funding. What types of things would you talk to me about? I don't have a 401k for these people. I don't have those types of things in place. Mm-hmm. What do I need to do?
Often what happens is we get a call from a referral client, CPA, and they say, hey, my accountant or my attorney said, get a 401k plan in place. Our first job is to really assess the situation and figure out, is it a 401k plan that they need put in place, or is it a SEP IRA, or maybe they just need an employer-sponsored IRA plan? What is it that the employees are willing to afford for themselves? Or is there going to be adequate participation? Is the employer going to sponsor a portion of it? Do they want any financial or fiduciary responsibilities associated with it? So it's a bigger question, really, rather than just I want to need or want a 401k. It's what's appropriate for the firm and the size of business. Beyond that, maybe we'll get a call as well on group health insurance, which is kind of a hot topic these days. And employers are one burdened with a lot of financial responsibilities already, but they have employees that are looking to protect themselves in case of health issues or have family members that they want to protect. And the employers have financial responsibilities that are associated with that too. So really it's a matter of balancing where that employer is spending money. How can they balance their budget going into the next year with the changes that they made this year, and what kind of changes they can expect between now and really 2020 with healthcare legislation. So
you look at the financial planning piece, the benefits that you're bringing into a company as part of a financial plan also for the company?
It really does become that. It's ongoingly reviewed with them. So from the standpoint of, maybe we want to put in group benefits, is it the right time to do it? Can we afford it? Is it something that we're going to be able to afford long term? I think the part that a lot of employers are hesitant about is how much money are we going to be spending on this? And without that answer, they can't really make an informed decision. So our job is to come in initially from the consultative standpoint and help them assess what the benefits are and whether or not it would be a good fit for them, and or incrementally implement things as we proceed going forward.
Now, once those benefits, let's say 401k, once those benefits are in place for the employees get to direct where their savings gets invested?
They do. In fact, what we find a lot of the times is employees just don't have the knowledge base to make academic decisions when it comes to their savings. So from a financial planning standpoint, we then sit with the employee to help them understand how that 401k fits in with their overall financial plan. And I think that's a very crucial part of qualified plans or benefits in general that are often missed. The employer just says, hey, I want to put in benefits. My employees are asking for benefits. Employees are asking for benefits, but they're making decisions within their employed life that aren't necessarily correlated to their personal lives. And the way we look at it at Assembly Point Financial is everything really should be cohesive. What you're doing with your work should be cohesive with what you're doing with your family. How you approach a business financial plan should be cohesive with what you're doing with your personal financial plan.
You're selling me a product. In one case, you're selling me a 401k, basically, which is more like a kind of an off-the-shelf, in my mind. It's an off-the-shelf product that we can kind of customize for my employees and offer them. So it helps, with the foundation of my business, right? But as an individual now, you seem like a nice guy, but how do I differentiate trusting you with my finances or my money or my investments or taking your advice on things versus somebody else, for example? How would I do that? I mean, referral is one thing, but how do I feel comfortable with a financial planner?
Well, I would say that there are a couple levels of criteria that you could look at. Initially, we've completed our CFP exams. That's a very high level, highly respected designation in the industry that gives people a basis to look at and suggest that, hey, you know what, this gentleman or this lady knows what they're doing, at least from a basic level. Beyond that, it really comes down to the message that's being delivered during the conversation. It's always tough to ask the questions that you don't know, right? So if somebody's referred to us, I always encourage them, hey, talk with a couple people first, see, who you feel comfortable with, who's given you answers. It's the same thing as when I'm looking for a service. The gentleman or the lady that provides me with information I had no clue to ask, that's the person I end up usually using for that service.
But you're not a stockbroker, so you're not making trades for people.
Right? Correct, yeah.